3, 2. Hey, we're live. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning to the Vamp Podcast. We were going to do a lunchtime beat 'em up. As you remember last time, our heroic Valor Knights were in dire combat against the villainous Chaos Lords, and things were coming to a head. It was all very dramatic, but we're not going to have that rest of that fight today because Alice Pang is out. So, sorry, Alice. Hope you feel better. And here we are, not playing the game because her character was pretty integral to the whole damn plot. So, what are we going to do instead? We're going to talk Transformers because that's how we roll here in the BAF podcast.
More than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye. First up, I'd like to talk about this thing we put out. We've been having so much fun with this game that we wrote up our characters and put them into a PDF, and Jacob illustrated them for us. And it came out this week. And this is it. Champions of the Electric Cube War, Volume 1. And it can be yours for the princely sum of $1.50. And just check out this art. Look at that layout. Oh, my God.
It's gorgeous.
And there's art by Aid.
Yes, I recognize that robot.
Yeah. We have new rules for Valor Knights. We are adding to the thing. Gestalt. Let's say you want to have some rules for tiny robots to become bigger robots. We got you, homie. And here is Walt's character, Flyer, right there. Here is Aid playing Gearbox. Here is Alice's Nitro Strike. So this is up right now. And there's a bunch of other characters in there as well. And that's not all, because we have a discount code we're going to throw up in the show notes where loyal viewers can get this bad boy for 50 cents less. So I'll put that up in the chat right now, and I'll put it in the show notes. Maybe run it as a banner, but that's a really ugly URL. So I'll just put it in the show notes. You can get it there. It's all good. And you can find that right now. So that's going on. So, Jacob, you were looking for the stop-motion trailer for the new Netflix series. Did you find that?
Yes, I did. I put it in the private chat over here, so you can bring that up.
Okay.
This is for the new Siege War of Cybertron toys that are coming out for the new Netflix series that'll be out in June.
The Siege toys are brand new for this, aren't they? They're not an old line that they're.
It's a brand new line of toys.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, here we go. Autobots versus Decepticons and boom share. All right, you guys ready? You guys popcorn? No? Okay, let's go.
Stop motion entertainment video.
This is awfully quiet. Anyone hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Really? Walt, do you hear this?
Sounds good.
Nice one. Good stuff.
Very statuesque poses.
Is this like really dramatic? You have the audio. It kind of looks like Robot Chicken to me.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
I have to make my own audio because I'm not hearing it.
I can't believe you're not getting the audio on this. It sounds good on this.
Yeah,
side.
it's coming.
We're getting everything up here.
All right, cool. This is 4 minutes long. Do we want to cut it off now? We've gotten the flavor.
Yeah, cut it off if I.
All right,
Ooh,
cool.
Uh-oh. Something was about to happen. Dear Lord.
That's enough of that.
Okay. I was just about to say they look very G1, and now they're like, what's different from G1? It's like, okay, there it is. It's there.
Oh, wait a second. Why does this thing copyright? Because this is just coming out like.
That's a lot of transforming.
Yeah. All right, so there we go, and we'll put a stop on that. So, what do you guys think?
I think it's a great showcase for the toys. It shows you a couple of different toys. It shows you that there's going to be a lot of customization you can do, and not only that, but the pose that they pose really well, so you can get them in lots of different action scenes. I think it's really nice. I'm looking forward to
Sideswipe was
seeing the
always
toys.
pretty movable though. His arms were always pretty movable, wasn't he? Sideswipe, Jazz, Prowl, all those lot all had the cool arms.
Yeah,
It's
the
it's
bigger
like-
cars were nice.
Yeah, it's the poor little dudes who've got the stiff arms that just pop out straight in front of them. They're the ones that don't look quite as cool, but yeah, that's smart.
All right, and just to give our viewers a flavor of it, here's the War for Cyber. Oh wait, it's War for Cybertron, not Siege. That's weird.
The War for Cybertron is going to be 3 different seasons. Siege is one of them, and then there's going to be Earth War and something else.
Just a minute of this. This was the one that was all like, "We cannot fight to win; you must fight to survive." No, Optimus, you must fight to win. It was awfully grim and intense for being robots who were also cars, but the animation looks cool.
Force. I empower you, Decepticons, to bring this painful chapter of our history to a close.
I kind of dig the mysterious little robot who shows up at the.
We're facing extinction at the hands of the Decepticons. Cybertron needs strength. My strength.
Is it me or does Megatron have like really full lips in this?
Yeah,
He's got pretty intense lips in there.
Okay.
I think that stems from there's this one character named Overlord who's pretty beloved among fans because he's got these really intense lips, and I think they've transferred that over to Megatron for this series.
All right, cool. So that's what's happening with Transformers. And hey, you were wanting to talk about comic books, right? Distribution problems.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, with what's going on at the moment, there is a severe lack of comic books actually coming out, and in the UK, we didn't get the last week of March delivered. Apparently, it's sitting in Diamond UK's warehouse at this current point in time. They are saying it's going to hit the shops possibly the 11th of May. And then obviously we've got DC trying to do their own distribution stuff, but apparently that's not going to happen in the UK. So that's only going to the US. Though the 3 weeks they've got stacked up starting at the end of next month, I think it is. So that's a bit of a downer. As for Marvel, I don't think they've got anything going on as far as I'm aware, apart from maybe some digital stuff going. So it's just a bit of a bummer, really. Basically,
the only good thing to come about because of that is so much of the indie stuff can get showcased. Like we just had what was the name of that book I just downloaded? Stellar Odyssey. There we go. Which was a Jay Sloan's kind of anthology of stories. They had like a Jedi story, they had a bounty hunter story, they had like a renegade robot story. Artwork was fantastic. It really neat book. I mean, so to have all this.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say to have all this like great indie stuff coming out. So Mike, if you promote my my screen share right there.
Yeah, you got it.
There we go. Right. So this is an indie. I mean,
okay.
It looks great. Lettering's fun. I mean, lots of let's see where
I do love fun lettering.
Yeah, they have a dog, but I mean, even like some of the action scenes, I mean, very epic, very
yeah, the art looks great. So this is non-Star Wars.
Correct. Well, part of it's non-Star Wars because like right here you have a bounty hunter story. Which lots of blaster bolts coming at everybody. But once again, this is an indie. I mean,
that's cool.
So stuff like that, stuff like we were just talking Transformers. Have you guys checked out any of the IDW Transformers comics going on right now?
I've heard it's incredibly good. I mean, just like character driven, which is the last thing I expect from a Transformers story.
So right now, they back in September they started something called Transformers Galaxies, and the first story takes place after the last war of Cybertron, and gives birth to kind of save the planet and reclaim it from its destruction. They create the Constructicons, and the first 4-issue arc is about them learning about like how to do their job and how to revitalize Cybertron. But during the story, they get basically co-opted by the Decepticons and basically fed a bunch of fake news.
So the Decepticons are pick the news source that your least favorite with on cable.
I mean, but then it goes into a second story arc and then a third, and it's basically following all of these Transformers all over the place, scattered after the last war of Cybertron. So it starts with the Constructicons. What was the name of the small, like he was like a mini con, kind of like Bumblebee, but he was red instead of yellow.
Cliff Jumper. So they follow Cliff Jumper
in the second arc. They go with RC Ironhide and
Leader One.
No, I'll remember it later. But they go with that one right there.
This guy.
Yep. So, but they go into that story arc of them escaping Cybertron and looking for someplace. So I mean, it's I think that's what it is. So I mean, that series has been very, very interesting. You have like all of the the Revolution titles that came out, which were like the big crossovers between G.I. Joe and like Rom the Space Knight, and
the big literally tried the big Hasbro universe.
So I mean, there's a lot of like big two that are out there that were just really well done. And if you're a Comixology Unlimited member, a lot of this stuff you can read for free. Well, not for free. Obviously, you got to pay your monthly subscription, but I mean, still, you're paying what I think it's $5.99 a month, and you're getting all of this content for the bubble. So really, really good.
Yeah, Comixology is definitely worth looking at because I'm just screaming through them now. Their sales they've had recently, I know
huge.
Yeah, last week they had the first volume of the last new Avengers series and the new Fantastic Four series, the graphic novels for free. So so it was like 6 issues for now. That was it. So it's like, okay, give them a try. The Fantastic Four stuff I highly recommend. It's been a really good series. So if they do that again with anything else, keep an eye out. But there's this again. I think this is the time we're going to see, obviously, Marvel and DC pushing digital content, even if it's digital content that's been out for a while. It's go for it.
Yeah, I'll get back to DC in a second because they're releasing one new book right now, which is a continuation of Batman the Animated Series. That's really good that Jacob turned me on to. But
I want that. Yeah. I'm waiting for that.
I wanted to mention this before I forgot. This is all I've been reading in terms of new comics. Is this one right here, which it's from Oni Press, and basically it's written like an Asylum direct-to-sci-fi network kind of movie. This mysterious dude with time travel powers shows up, grabs a random cast of people who could be in the Fast and the Furious, and says, "Hey, we're going to do a street race through different periods in time, and if you win, you can go back in time using the time travel technology and change one horrible mistake from your past." And it's cheesy as fuck, but I've really been enjoying it. But like I say, it feels like one of the better Asylum movies. Like maybe not Sharknado, but so it's that's been fun. But yeah, it's let's find that. Let's see, what's the name of that series? Do you remember, Jacob?
You're gonna the Batman series?
Yeah.
Batman: The Adventures Continue.
Okay, yep, here it is, and it's cheap. It's like $1. Let me share that out too.
And unless I'm mistaken, it's Paul Dini writing it, unless I'm mistaken.
Paul Dini is the author. There
So-
was a YouTube video where Kevin Conroy reads the comic to people. So, you get the Batman voice. Unfortunately, his connection was spotty. So there's a lot of gaps and stutters in it, and it gets annoying after a while.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice. A couple of guys from Community, Ken Young, who was the, if you remember the guy who jumps out of the trunk in the first Hangover movie, who was later the crazy professor on the crazy Spanish professor on Community, and Joel McHale, who is Joel McHale. They do an 1.5 hour long podcast over Skype. It was on YouTube, and I'm like, shit, me and Walt and Jacob and Aid are about that funny.
Where's our big payday?
I don't know who these people are. So is that good or bad? I'm not too sure.
Joel McHale. If you ever saw Community, he was the main guy. He used to have a Snarky Tark show. I guess it's on Netflix now. It's okay. I mean, obviously, there are attractive people who were people with a certain look who are much funnier when they have screenwriters writing for them. So yeah, it was okay. So anyway, that's how we're getting our comic book fix, and hopefully the industry doesn't implode and we get more comic books in a couple of weeks.
So I will say again, every time I'm on the podcast we talk comics, I'm going to big up the Epic collections from Marvel because they are fantastic. And if you need some comics and you want to buy like 20 issues at a lump, buy one of those. It gets you a hell of a lot of books for your money. They are absolutely brilliant. So I am stocking up on Champions books and Son of Satan and all this kind of stuff. It's gonna be great. So,
hey, Mike, have you? I know you have a love of the apocalyptic fantasy comics, kind of like what was coming out of Comixology a few months ago. Have you seen Twin Worlds from Action Lab yet?
I was going to ask you about that because it sounds like it'd be right up my alley. Twin Worlds from Action Lab. It's basically a near future Earth where weird ass portals open up in the sky that can take you to a fantasy world. And that's the one that you were talking about. Huh?
Okay. This is a fantasy world of like elves and dwarves and goblins and stuff like that gets invaded by Earth, who is looking for natural resources. So basically, yeah, that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah.
So did you check it out at all?
Just a preview. It seemed like it was okay. I don't know. I was debating buying it, wound up not picking it up. Though, wow, that's an ugly URL. Why'd I put that in a banner? What's wrong with it? You hide that. Who wants, especially when it's scrolling, who wants to try and type that in while that'll be in the show notes, folks.
Yeah,
Sorry
you'll have to screenshot that.
Yeah.
I mean, the art looked really good. I read the first few pages, seemed okay. I don't know. I might give it a try because the volume 1 is only $6.
Yeah, it's not a lot. Well, let me go ahead and pull it up here.
I have it. Do you want me to share it?
If you got it, yes, please do.
It's almost like we've done this before. There we go, right at the bottom.
Yep.
So I mean,
all right. So portals open up. Our world can get to their world, and all of a sudden we're invading with starships and power armor. And it's sort of like, I mean, usually you see something from outer space or a different dimension comes in and takes over our planet. This time we're the invaders messing up a fantasy planet.
Yeah, we're the bad guys. Gee, go figure.
There's potentially a lot going. I mean, that seems like there's a heavy-handed, almost classic Twilight Zone sort of subtext going on there,
right?
Yeah, it looks. This is exactly as far as I got right here. We have those guys. They've captured some commanders of the invading force, and they're getting ready to execute them. And the guys are saying, "Wait, don't. Let's talk about this." And so, I mean, it looks like it'd be my flavor. I just hadn't checked it out because. I like the idea of Action Lab. I know some of the creators have done some good stuff, but I've been hit or miss on actually digging their books, so I was hesitant to pick it up. But you're saying you liked it, or at least you liked it?
Yeah, I liked what I saw of it. Plus, it's I managed to bribe myself onto a beta crew that's proofing something that's very similar. So it was right up my alley. So I figured I'd just mention it. And once again, not the big two. And since they usually get so much of the love, it's these small indie publishers that we should be looking at right now.
So one of the books I was looking forward to, Dark Horse was supposed to be putting out. I think that's been obviously delayed, which is the Gaiman Norse mythology comic.
Yeah.
Because it's who's doing the artwork? It's not Charles Vess, is it? It's somebody else. It's someone like that. It's someone of equal stature of like greatness. It's like, okay, I can't miss out on that. that's just too good. So something completely removed from superhero stuff. It's just like, nope, yeah, I'll have that. That'll do.
Yeah, if you had Charles Vess on Neil Gaiman, that's
something
amazing.
crazy like that. But yeah.
So, I was going to say Neil Gaiman's giving away copies of American Gods for free, but I'm trying to hit the link for that, and that is dead.
Sorry, the link you were looking for.
Yeah, I'm guessing 1 million people hit that at once. And
it's Craig Russell doing the artwork for it, which is also equally great.
Okay, cool.
He's very, very good. So, yes. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't know. I've been missing comic books every week, but on the other hand, the big two have kind of driven me off of most of their titles. I'm usually reading quirky little, stuff on the edges like Spider-Man Team Up or Squirrel Girl or whatever book DC is publishing that's kind of amusing. So I haven't really been keeping up with the big events in like a decade. So I'm missing it, but not missing as much as I might have been, say, back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. So
I always wait for the big events to compile a trade paperback. That way I can just absorb it all at once instead of having to get this issue, then this issue, then this issue. And what one issue did I miss that has an important plot point?
I've got to think 52 would have been much more enjoyable if read that way.
So have you read House of X and Power of 10? The X-Men crossovers?
Either one of you guys? No? Okay.
It's so good. It is so damn good. Absolutely brilliant. You really should read it. Even if that is literally the only exposure you get to X-Men this year, it's so worth a read. It's so good. The multiple timelines, stuff going on, really, really good. Seeing all the X-Men back, fantastic. Well, after that, not too sure, because again, they flooded the market with gazillion X-Men titles, so, buy everything or lose out. But just that little self-contained 12 issues, well worth a read.
Cool. What was I going to say? The big thing I've been doing from DC lately is I finally caught up with the Doom Patrol TV show you guys were telling me about. If you guys had told me there were a whole 2 episodes people were getting teleported through a donkey's ass, I would have been on that immediately. You got to give me those kind of important details. So there's a guy who can track people by eating their facial hair. I would have, but that kind of absurd stuff is right up my alley. But
because you're not about the camp at all.
Sorry. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
What about that Danny the Street episode?
Danny the Street was a really cool character. I've seen that idea done before, like in White Wolf comics. White Wolf games. I've never seen it done in the mainstream media before. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
You've seen Danny the Street in the comics, though, yeah?
I got a thing with Grant Morrison where I need a lot of word of mouth before I pick up one of his books, because sometimes you read Grant Morrison, it's JLA from the 90s, and it's just amazing. Sometimes you read Grant Morrison, and it's like Seven Soldiers or Sea Guy or the
no, I like both of those.
Huh?
I like both of those books, so that's quite funny.
Well, no, I mean, there's cool stuff in Seven Soldiers. I'm not saying they're not, but you got to approach it with like years and decades of comic book knowledge to catch all the shout outs and all the references he's doing. And when I was reading Seven Soldiers, there was one I liked a lot where it was dealing with subway pirates in New York. They could magically open up subway lines, and there were a couple of guys, there was no beard and full beard who were fighting each other, and they were rival. And it turns out the whole thing, from top to bottom, was a commentary on Grant Morrison's long-running argument with Alan Moore. And I had no goddamn idea, because I know they don't like each other, but I don't give a shit beyond that. But apparently it was, if you were up on the Alan Moore, Grant Morrison feud, this was really fucking meaningful. So I just feel like I'm missing half the subtext in everything I read by Grant Morrison. And the Invisibles, there's some of those issues that were fucking amazing I still think about and read today. and then the whole goddamn thing ends in the most confusing and unsatisfying way possible.
I was just about to ask you if you've read The Invisible, so I'm glad at least you attempted.
There were issues of it I loved, and then I was reading the end, and I'm like, what?
I was literally only thinking yesterday that if I need to build a COVID-19 face mask, King Bob's face mask is the way to go. So yeah.
You know, if you're looking for, my mom's been sewing face masks and mailing them to people. So if you're in a hurry, let me know, and I can. Although coming from Colorado to London,
it probably costs them more to ship it than would to buy a load in. Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably find a nice Scottish granny to sew it up for you, but. Yeah. Anyway, so we're hoping the industry comes back. It seems we did at the moment. Hey, big news! I just heard today an email from Drive-Thru RPG. They're going to be starting. They're hoping for a lot of publisher buy-in to get some big COVID-19 charity bundles going on in the next week or so. So keep an eye out for that. And if you're a publisher, check your email, find a way to contribute. There's 4 different charities you can pick from. So it's a good cause. Definitely give it a look and kick in if you can. And anything
like the other charities, it all sell by the bucket load. So,
yeah, those have been very popular. The one we did for Australian fire relief, we had Heath Wilder. Hey, Heath, on here to help us promote it, and we actually kind of helped talk DTRPG into doing it, and that raised 6 figures to help those little burned koalas. So that was a good thing. Are we running out of subjects? I mean, I'm kind of bummed we can't play. Have we mined every conversational vein we had talked about pre-show?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone watch anything cool on Netflix these days?
I just finished the 2nd season of Altered Carbon.
Oh, what'd you think?
Not as awesome and innovative as the 1st season, in my opinion, but still enjoyable. And managed to continue the plot and do new things. So I was pleasantly surprised by who the mystery bad guy was.
Now, did you see the animated?
I have not yet watched Resleeved. No.
Oh my god, that was good, especially if you're like into like heavy Japanese themes of like revenge and stuff like that. Just really, they took that and kind of layered it over onto how Altered Carbon sees life. So that was really good. You'll enjoy that.
Cool.
Hey, are there any movies coming out that we want to see the trailers for?
Well,
movies coming out. Full stop. I think is the answer.
All the good movies that we've been waiting for the last couple of months have been pushed back to the fall.
Except for the New Mutants. Sorry. Just out of curiosity, you guys can hear the sound. How's this Tom Hardy Capone movie look?
Can't hear the sound.
You can't hear the sound? Okay, that was probably on me then. Hang on a second. Stop screen.
I'm just gonna put this out. I don't care about gangster movies.
What?
For people who are Scorsese fans or anything like that, if your movie is about a gangster and glamorizing the gangster lifestyle, you've lost me.
Well, the new gangster movies are moving away from that. The Irishman, his last movie, was almost
what's this about?
All about how being a gangster had robbed him of joy in his life and alienated from his family. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you don't like that, then I think this might be your flavor, Jacob. In a world where giant lizards rise menacingly above pagodas. Wait, is this a new movie?
What the hell?
I'll say, what's this? This looks like an amalgamation of various Godzillas from the past.
This is supposed to be a new movie from 2020. Looking at the special effects, though, this looks like
not.
This looks like someone made a Godzilla movie in their backyard.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's possible to do really good effects with home computers these days.
Yeah, but this isn't one. This isn't that. Okay, well,
hey, if you want something funny to check out, that's going to be coming up soon.
Myself, of course.
Look up Dummy on the new Anna Kendrick
You want to put up
TV show. Have you guys heard about that one?
Just
I have not. No.
around the city.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why
she.
not? Nobody's ever done it.
Should I
Why not
pause this?
start now?
No, go ahead and let it play.
I
Okay.
bet people will talk about this 100 years from now.
The mystery of Angeline has become a media obsession.
Okay, this is
So,
the new
Angeline,
streaming
what
service, isn't
exactly
it?
are you
NBC,
famous
is it
for?
NBC streaming service?
I'm famous for being on Billboard.
Yes, Peacock is the NBC streaming service.
Okay, so
I'm a
question to
bright
everybody that's in the
light.
US, because we won't get this.
Here to
Are you fed up with
inspire
streaming
joy.
services now? Do you think you've had enough of streaming
Yes,
services?
I've already had. There's already
You
too
want to
many
grab
streaming
people's
services.
attention?
Yeah.
You have to tease.
Always help to make the world more beautiful.
Yeah, I've
Movies should be on Netflix. Television shows should be on Hulu, and that's it.
Yeah, I right now I've got Amazon Prime, Netflix, and Disney Plus. It feels like. Oh wait, HBO Go too. Which I'm not sure how HBO Go is different from HBO Max, but apparently it is. So it's a whole thing. So Anna Kendrick, Dummy. Oh,
Oh, don't wait a minute. Is that bloke talking Scottish and they've had to subtitle him, or is it just my imagination?
I think he's talking Scottish in the subtitle. Okay, you guys want to see the rest of this? We're going to go to the Anna Kendrick trailer.
Let's move. I've seen zombie movies. Let's move on.
There's people running, and there's dead people, and there's blood.
Look,
Okay.
zombies. They're eating people. We've never heard of zombies before. It's like we've never lived in a world where Romero has been around since the 50s.
In a world where Romero has been around since the 50s.
There's 100 million zombie titles.
And yet we've never heard of zombies.
Okay,
What
well,
about that?
this is on Quibi, which is another Quibi.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right. This is all on you, Walt, because I saw the first 10 seconds of this while you guys were watching a zombie, and this looks creepy as fuck.
It's hysterical.
What is this? Glitter? Are you cheating on me?
I have a sex doll.
Donald Logue. All right, I like him. I can't hear the audio. You guys are going to have to tell me what's going on here.
So
the sex doll just talked to
We're
her.
all sex dolls until we topple the patriarchy.
Does it have her voice or someone else's voice?
I think she represents a part of you that wants to heal you. Embrace her.
I have pee anxiety. Can you
Who is that? He's like 14. So, I'm 7.
You know, I got a friend who lives in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Sex doll and our human friend.
And there was a guy there in the local neighborhood who started carrying his real doll around with him.
Yeah, that's
everywhere.
creepy.
We're gonna be the best feminist.
Dressed up in clothes and asked people to serve it, at restaurants and stuff, and they all just kind of played along. Okay, what do you think about that?
Well, I suppose you can give it the I've never seen this story before award, if nothing else. So there you go.
But it's funny because the sex doll is like an ultra feminist. So constantly talking about toppling the patriarchy and all that. I thought it was funny.
That could be amusing watch. Yeah.
To see, I don't even know how to see stuff on that network though. Do I have to find it online and pay for it?
Well, that's like that. We just started watching Motherland on Freeform, where if you're a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, that's a show you got to watch.
Okay.
And if you just go to the website or like load it onto a Roku box or something like that, you can watch it. I assume Quibi is going to be the same way, but Motherland is just, oh my God, horrific.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, it's basically instead of witches being burned at the stake, one witch comes forward during the witch trials and says, whoa, let's cool it with the fire. Here's the deal. Magic is real. We can actually do this stuff. If you leave us alone, we will fight all your wars for you from this point on. You will win. You will never be put down. You will be the dominant superpower in the world because magic will back you up. But what happens is when people start evidencing, you fast forward several hundred years, when people start evidencing magical ability, they become conscripted. Kind of like how Marvel Civil War was going on way back in the day. So if you're a witch or a warlock and you have magical ability, you have no choice. You have to enlist in the military. So, and it's like the first we've seen the first like 7 episodes, and it's all about them going through training, which is much different than my basic training. I've never had giant sex orgies with between like two two graduating classes just to raise the magical energy in the ambient so they can perform rituals and stuff. But I mean,
that's because you weren't in the Air Force.
Yep.
That's what they told you. They just put going on there. You just
I knew I was being conscripted into the wrong branch.
Yep.
They kept the Marines kept trying to get me. I was like, I know I wanted to go to the Air Force.
But like in the first episode, they show you that there's this other group that is using magical terrorism, and it's horrific. The first scene is just like heart-wrenching. So, and that once again, that's on something like Freeform, which you're not going to get on a cable network. You either have to stream it through like a Roku box or your Fire Stick or whatever, or you can just go on the website and watch it.
I have got to see this. This sounds cool.
It's really good. And like I said, if you're a Buffy fan, this is a nice modern take on a world of that type.
Nice.
All right, cool. I'm kind of waiting for that Buffy reboot to happen in a year now, and it might be a little bit longer for it.
Have you been reading the Buffy comic that's been coming out recently?
I did for a while, and I liked it, but then I just kind of fell off. I mean, I know it was good. I know Joss Whedon was writing some of them, but I'm not sure where it's at these days.
They've been lingering a bit on this big Hellmouth plot. It's been crossing over into the other series, into the others, so you kind of have to get the others, which is really annoying. I hate it when they do a huge plot and it lasts too long and you have to get all the different issues in order to get the plot.
Last time I read it, they had kind of a command center, and Xander was sort of looking like Nick Fury with the eye patch, and he was dispatching.
You're thinking about the older Buffy series. I'm talking about the newest Buffy series to have come out in the last couple of years. No, it is a complete retelling of Buffy. It's modern day, so they have cell phones. And the Buffy Xander Willow relationship is completely different. One of the main villains from the very beginning of the series is Anya.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I kind of feel like if Joss Whedon's divorce hadn't gone so public and so bad, we might have already seen that by now. But he sort of lost cachet with a lot of his fans when his wife went public with a lot of the stuff he was doing. So yeah, that's a bummer. All right, well, I think we should wrap things up so I can get back to slaving in the IT mines. Tune in tomorrow. We will be doing a phase rip. Marvel Superheroes actual play with Mr. Aid right below me as the GM, and Marvel Comics artist Sean Isaac will be playing with us, and that will be what time? That was 12:30 Mountain Time, so 2:30 Eastern.
That's the plan. Plan.
What time is that British time?
7:30 in the evening.
All right, cool. All right, so to our viewers, sorry we didn't have the game tonight. Promise next week, and we will catch you next time on the BAMF Podcast. And we're almost